that's a tough act to follow. You know what I'm saying? So I saw it as an opportunity, man, and I was just trying to come through to, come up whatever way I could with that easy money, how I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking him on. How was that,
Hey, yo.
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the good for your family? Let's stop the political shit. We was Harlem time, man. 39th Street and 40th was the, how was that, man?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying?
And we back with some more content. Listen, right now we about to react to Camron interviewing Sheree Hayes, a.k.a. The Punisher. For those who don't know, he's the one that was down with Diddy's FO and Cassie. He is the one that was doing the thrashing while your boy over there was doing the cuckolding. You understand what I mean? That is not a good look. Whoever's into that, to each his own. But listen, my boy, I don't need no viewers. You understand what I'm saying? No cameras in my room, baby, unless it's my camera. With that being said, sit back and react with your boy. We're about to see how this is going to play out. He's going to ask him how he got into the line of business of male gigoloing and how he got introduced to Cassie and P. Diddy. Let's see how this is going to play out. Sit back and react with your boy. Let's go. Roll that clip.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yo, so let me ask you, how'd you start with being a male dancer? How did that career become how did that become a choice for a career path for you?
That's a wild.
Yo, really, man, off of some young man sucker shit, man. I broke up with my girlfriend, and the reason why we broke up was she started working in the strip club, right? So she working in the strip club, came home, like, yo, I'm meeting a bunch of dudes, like, I'm expendable, and that young 21-year-old mind was on some, yo, I show her, I'm gonna get on the stripper shit too.
Right.
And I really went hard to try to get in the business. And actually when I got in it and you see all of the women and you can make some paper if you do it the right way, it was like best breakup ever, man. So 30 years long that hustle.
That's what's up. So
wow, hustle.
How did the first time Puff and Cassie get in contact with you?
Yo, they called up like they was just hiring a regular party. Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote. She said she was going to be there with some friends. They gave me an address and the time to show up. And I'm thinking I'm showing up to do a party, just a regular little striptease for a birthday girl.
But like, that's a great answer. How do they find you? Like, is it ads, internet? Like, how do they even track somebody like you down?
Oh yeah, yo, all my marketing and stuff in my business is like SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up. So they just clicked on the website and called the number, and I just happened to pick up the phone. It wasn't. I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
Right.
I just picked up the phone.
Got you. Where did these? Well, let's say the first time. Where did these events usually happen at? Puff's house, Cassie's house, hotel. Like, where did these events happen at?
I was all super high end hotels.
Gotcha.
So I remember it was the Trump Tower, Essex House, the London Hotel, the Gramercy Hotel. It was another hotel, Central Park West. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but they were all along the lines of super high end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel. It was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like $30K a night, yo.
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel,
hold up.
The hotel room looked like, you know that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down?
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy, man.
How often did they call you or book you?
Like I said in my I can't remember the exact amount of time. So I estimated between 8 and 12 times, but it would be like every few months, but it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would come Friday night, then they come back Saturday night, then come back Sunday. And then I might not be called for 3-4 months, and then they'll just pop up. So at the time, I thought they lived out of town. You know, they would. She would call me from a Cali number, so I assumed they were out of state. And she basically said, "Yo, can I hit you when we're in town?"
Right.
But it would be multiple nights in a row, but months in between.
Right. And if some of these questions that I asked you may seem repeated because you've been asked these same questions, I just want, we have a different audience from with the interviews you've done, and some people may not know the trial or what's happening. So some of these questions, I don't want to seem like it's redundant if you answer them 100 times this week. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, or that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
It makes you think at the same time that they was doing FOs with male escorts all around the U.S. You see how they was dealing with him sporadically, and then months at a time, they went ghost. That's because they were entertaining somebody else, or someone else was entertaining them. Either or, however you want to put it. That's the only assumption that I could put together right there. And then it sounds like he didn't even know it was Diddy or Cassie right away. That's diabolical right there. I mean, I got to see a face or something, an ID. Who is you? Number one, I'm not into that kind of lifestyle that your boy the Punisher is into. Like, he's cold-hearted. I can't just go up in there while a man is in the same room looking at the stuff. Nah, man. Miss me with that. We don't do that over here.
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like, when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like, I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like, if I was gonna pin, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out, to finally, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her. And she said at some point her husband's going to walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Listen, those special instructions, we at a restaurant? You want your steak medium well, eggs over easy? I mean, I don't understand. What are we doing over here? You're not supposed to pay attention or act like he's here? Nah. Hey, yo, my man, what you doing in this room, man? You lost? That would be my reaction.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. And eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area across the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here. A whole year?
That's crazy.
So let me, how long, okay, let's, I want to stick to that for a second, but how long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo,
Okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was,
Right.
but I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
So then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite. Mm-hmm. And just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just coming on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television.
That's wow.
On the TV.
Wow.
That's wow.
I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so 10 times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
The first time. And it was offered, yo. But I was so bugged out. Like this wasn't my hustle, right? So
Right.
I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple and they want to do some voyeur sexy scene. So we did the like set up on the couches, the baby all rub down or whatever. And then at some point, Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him, and she came back like, "Yo, that was perfect. We happy. We good." And then she said to me, "Yo, do you want to finish?" Meaning, I guess, do I want to bust a nut out? You know what I'm saying? And my first example, I'm trying to be professional. Like I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left. But she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So of course I'm down if you want to hit me back. But it was offered to me the first time and I actually turned it down, trying to be on some professional.
Right. Was baby oil mandatory?
Mandatory, yo.
Yeah, he got a baby oil. That's just mandatory. I seen also in the transcripts that you said it was just supposed to be like a sexy scene, meaning that Puff would tell you to move the candles a certain way or tell her to move the candles a certain way for lighting purposes for his visual. Could you explain that?
What?
Yeah, so like when I first got in there, she made it clear that this was a scene we were setting up for her husband.
Okay.
So it was like couches, all the furniture in the suite was covered in sheets. Like everything was covered in sheets. So it was like a single chair across from like a big sofa. And we were supposed to sit on there and I supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point we're rubbing on each other.
Major
And we
player
doing
in the game, huh?
Little like.
Nah. I'm sorry. You're my boy. So basically you was beating off. She's beating off while Diddy's in the room looking at both of y'all? Man, listen, I don't even know how you operate. You a demon.
Act.
Right.
Like we're like in character, like one of them corny Cinemax movies. You know what I'm saying? Like the sex scene in them little Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look like the part, and then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candle lit, and he'll say like, "Yo, move a little bit. Yo, move the candle. I can't really see," or move the body. And he would never talk to me, not one word to me, only to her. And if his instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine, and it really went like that every single time.
So he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow.
I don't know. If you ask me, that is kind of strange for some piece of change. Imagine what your boy really done that we don't know about. Seems like he'd do anything just for money. Cause man, listen, I would have been like, nah, I ain't doing that. Y'all both bugging out. I'm sorry. This is why I would make no money being a 304. I would be too selective. I'd be like, nope. Not like the girls. They'll do anybody. Big, fat, small, short, tall, stinky. It don't matter. You understand? They just looking at the dollar. Sheesh, that's a crazy way to live.
Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff will have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What was that like? Pause.
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's already weird knowing like a dude's coming in the room, But I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral.
Right.
So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil he's half the time he's beating off and he's walking side to side. So it was definitely a difficult space to try to be in. But I ain't no front, bro. At the time, I'm greedy. I want this bread.
Like
you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario and I'm trying to make it work. But
that's
it was tough, man. It was tough.
Could have left. And
it was just else. A veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil, everything. So everything was just covering the face, super duper pause, and naked from the neck down every single time.
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It was a veil, just period. Like the ones the Muslim women wear, so you don't see anything but the eyes. But I think at some point, after like the year and change, and it was a while, he wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
I think they might have figured out, I saw the TV, and at some point he just changed to a Yankee fitted. So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew, maybe he saw the TV on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I probably left it, and I guess he figured out, homie figured it out. So he stopped wearing the veil, and he was just like rocker fitted.
Right. I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
Yeah, man. Every time, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this. So
what was being done with the Astroglide though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean, the whole time, that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Facts.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're going to step it up to cuckold.
So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold.
And honestly, if it was voyeur, guess what? It would be filmed and he would be somewhere else. You don't have to be there with them. You understand what I mean?
So they downplay it with the I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's sound cuckoldish, man. Did Puff ever participate?
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room. Like I said in my testimony, the closest he got to actual action, like it was one time, all this stuff, almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her. Mm-hmm. So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we was when we was having sex, and we both was like, like, what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And, we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right. So the nigga basically, pardon me, I'm gathering information as we talk. Y'all in the bed, he's circling the room, takes out sack of hundred, just throw it on the bed.
Throw it on the bed.
Wow. Wow. It's crazy. Sorry about that. I was just thinking, what was the most money you made doing this with them?
Every single time I came, it was $1,200 to $2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So
so it would be $1,200, $2,000, $1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Got you. And it would last 2-3 days?
Yeah, 2-3 days, but not straight. Like a few hours, I'll go home, you'll come back again. A few hours, I'll go home, come back again. You know?
That nigga's on time. That nigga's on clockwork. That's a wild nigga, man. Crazy. I also seen that you say Cassie said she felt comfortable with you. Did you take that as she liked you?
Not really. I knew it was clear, man. This was something.
I guess she felt comfortable, because he wasn't a threat to Diddy. You understand? Maybe look wise or something, but somewhere Diddy didn't feel threatened by him, so she felt comfortable with him. You understand? Because you see the people he was threatened by, she ain't really feel too comfortable around him because he made it uneasy if you pay attention.
We were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude, you know?
Right.
So I always took it as, however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back, you know?
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like
shit.
good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it from an enjoyment standpoint, not.
Somebody had to turn Diddy out into this type of behavior right here, because you don't just develop this overnight, man. He had to see this as a kid. He was doing this as a kid or something. Maybe he was brought up a voyeur and then he just turned it into the other thing. You know what I mean? Because who does this? Who really does this? I guess we may not know because we're not behind closed doors with everybody, but sheesh, this is diabolical.
So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Did Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Word.
Nah. Nah, I was strictly business. And honestly, man, I wasn't even trying to play that, get caught up in some type of fantasy. I know one of the other dudes got caught up in some fantasy of they could be together. I knew what it was, man. Like, right. She with a dude in $30,000 a night suites. Like
he's a smart guy.
Like I move, I can pull it off with chicks, but that's a tough act to follow. You know what I'm saying? So I saw it as an opportunity, man, and I was just trying to come through to, come up whatever way I could with that easy money, how I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy, though?
Hey, yo.
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop the political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street and 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse, because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real, I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in. And I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like,
hey, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's different. But you know what? He's a different individual, because I couldn't achieve any of that right there. Listen, I'm not being in a room like that. I'm just not doing that. I could call plenty of my homies. They ain't doing that. Well, I hope they agree to not. I hope they will agree with me when it comes to that. Because you never know with some people. You never know. You know what I mean? You never really know a person till you're around them and you start discovering certain things and you like, wait a minute. Because at the end of the day, they can hide but so much, but eventually it'll start coming out. It'll start coming out. Pause. No Diddy. This is just diabolical work right here. But we could all say he did something strange for a piece of change. No? I would say so. This is diabolical work. Why would you even put yourself in that situation? You was that hungry for money? I guess so. I'm just not doing nothing like that. I'm sorry. Like, what? You want me to You want me to do what to your shorty? What? If I was him, I would have said, all right, we could do something, but you can't be around. What's really going on? He was so, you notice how everybody was so scared because of the money that he had? You see, he was trying to play his P's and Q's because he said, look, you paying $30,000 a night. I can't follow that kind of act right there. So I gotta play my position. I gotta be easy. Shh. There's no problem here. He kept coming back for the money too. You don't think that if Diddy would have said, you know what? Me and her want to be on you right now. I'll give you matter of fact, I'll give you $1 million right now. Him being in his line of work, you think he gonna pass that up? I highly doubt that. He's already doing the job already. He's halfway there. You get what I'm saying? That's diabolical work, man. Diabolical work. We don't know. It's all allegedly. With that being said, go in the comments, run it up, flood it up. Make sure you go to Camron's Talk with Flea and your Welcome Network. Also, go check out Mr. Camron on Instagram and definitely check out Mr. Punisher, all right? So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's help this channel grow.